come sta te? Ti faccio l'altro? Ah sì, quello. Allora, come sta?
Escape the mount position. First of all, we're going to make an escape that we are going to do with people who are very, very dumb. We did it before in chokes. So if you look at those chapters, never put an arm around somebody's neck if you're in a mount position. This is very difficult. Or he has to stretch himself out. Even that could be dangerous, but stretch yourself out, put your hands, put your hips down and stretch my legs out, like all the way. That is going to be very difficult for me to roll them to the side. But most of them, they don't do it because otherwise they can't go for a submission. All right? So once somebody's in this submission, it's real easy. You have to make sure that he cannot post this arm out to the side if I roll him. Okay, so that's, we're going to stop by simply grabbing the back of our head. Now he can't post it out. He can if he wants, but it's going to cost him a lot of time, and I'm not going to give him that time. I'm going to work fast. What I also need to do is make sure that I lock up this foot here, because if I don't do that, he's going to post it out, and still I can't roll him over. Okay, so put these things together, lock the foot up, and lock the head up, and that's it. And now just bring this foot as close to your butt as you can, because then you can buck real high, and just simply turn it. Spread your arms out always, because otherwise he will use the motion from the turning into another turn, and you'll turn your back again. Same position, but not quite. He doesn't put the arm around my neck. Still, I want to take away this arm so he can't post it, and this foot. So I have to make sure this is not enough. No, go all the way here, and maybe even do this. But if you do this, and you pull it, you know something's going to go on, okay? So you have to act fast. Best way is just do everything in one time. Now I have to take this arm away. I can do that by grabbing him with one hand. He probably is going to pull it out right away. He's going to feel something's going on. I can do it with two hands. Now it's going to be very difficult for him to pull out. And even if he starts hitting me right now, I can even block his punches with this hand, you see? So it's never that dangerous. Of course, there is a little danger that you're going to get hit a few times. But if you stay like this, he for sure is going to hit you a few times. Okay? So you better escape the whole situation. Grab the hands with two hands, thumbs around, very important, so we can't pull it out. Lock this up. And again, simply rock to the side and establish a good position by walking out here. This escape is probably one of my favorites. I did it with TK in the UFC when I fought for the first time in the UFC. He mounted me, and I think 2 seconds later, 1 or 2 seconds later, I had him in my guard, and that was this move. You have to do everything in one time, and you have to do everything perfect. Most important is that, first of all, I'm going to turn on my hips on the side. And you see my leg, this leg here, right here, is now in between his feet. That is very important. If you're not going to do that, it's not going to work, all right? So lay on your hip, and your leg is flat. Actually, my leg is pressing on the floor now. Even if he wants to try to push his foot under my leg, there's no way he can do it now, because my whole weight is on that leg. Now I'm going to post his arm with my hand, his upper leg, and I'm going to push my knee underneath his leg, over the ground, up to here. Once I got that, I'm holding it like this. Now we're going to change positions for you guys, so you can see what I can do from the other side. Hold him tight. You don't want him to get up right away and try to escape your half guard, because now you get a half guard. Here you're going to hold, and you're going to snake move yourself in, and you go to a full guard. I know this is all staged right now, but trust me, if somebody gets a mount on me and I really work for it, there's no way he can stop this. So train is very good. We are in the same position. This time, his mount is high, which is a very smart thing to do for him, because if I'm going to try to buck, look, if he sits here, I'm bucking him all the way up there. But if he sits in a high mount, you see he sits here and I buck, I cannot get any leverage. His balance will be way better. So for him to sit in this position is always better. And watch this. How am I going to generate any power to hold his leg here? What I'm not going to do, actually, is press his leg down. Because trust me, If he doesn't want me to press his leg down, there's no way I can press his leg down. I don't have the power for it. I'm going to just hold it in place, and I'm going to bring my own leg, my left leg, underneath here, and then bring it up. So don't think that you have to push his leg down, like I did before also with my hand. No, just hold it in place, and then you are going to do the rest. This exercise doesn't have to take any power, okay? It's all about technique. So watch what I do again. I turn on my hips, left hip, leg is stretched, flat on the ground, and now I put my elbow here, because with my hand, I cannot generate any power. My elbow, I can. Now his leg doesn't need to go back, because I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to catch it. Once it's caught, same thing here. We're holding in, bring the elbow up, and go, and then we have the full mount, full guard. One more time from this angle, so you really can see what I do with my hips. It's really important. It's the most important thing. I told you the first time, I said, this is the most important thing. Turn on your hip, all the way on your left, or all the way on the right. Best thing is always to train both ways, of course. Okay, well, I'm going to show you right now, turning on my left. You see? I'm in between his feet. Even if he would have his feet crossed, I'm going to try to wiggle in, and now I'm laying all the way on my side. My elbow is here on his knee, pushing it up, bring it over, do this. Hold it tight, move to the other side, and now I buck up with my elbow, slide up, go. And now I got him in my guard. I'm explaining you now a situation which the Brazilians are calling a forward snake move. Okay? We're going to pull ourselves out of the situation, out of the back door. I told you before, I grabbed with my heels the floor and I pulled myself out. This is pretty much what I'm doing. I'm pulling myself out with my heels. Of course, he's not going to be there. But together with my hands later on, both of those forces together, they will do the trick. You will see this escape also in the side mount positions and in way more other positions, okay? So remember this. Pulling, stretching your leg, and pulling yourself out. Very important. Another mount position. This is a thing that you can also try. Again, like I always say, if you're going to shoot, you always miss. If he sits really high mount, you have to push into your hips first, because I want to create leverage. I want to buck him up as high as I can, and I'm going to dig two hands inside, and I'm going to throw him off. And again, I'm going to use that grabbing thing with my heels. So I'm bucking up. While he's in the air, I'm going to stretch, and then I'm going to whoop, slide out the back door together with my hands. So everything is going to be in one move. It sounds like it's very difficult. It is very difficult because you have to practice it, of course, a lot. But if you practice it a lot and you get the feeling of it, I promise you this could be a very easy escape. Okay, because nobody's going to expect it. First of all, he's going to get high mount. It's very difficult for me now to do it now if he sits here. So what do? I try to force him down. I'm going to try to push him down. That's, again, I'm going to use power. I don't want to use power. Why would I? Why simply hold this here and push myself a little bit upwards? Doesn't cost me any power, and now he sits on my belly. This is where the leverage is, see? Now, I'm going to buck him up. When he's in the air, I'm going to stretch my legs out. My hands are going to shoot in, and I'm going to do everything in one motion. Watch, because it's going to go fast, all right? We're sitting, one up, I'm going to pull myself out. It's one moment. Look, I do it without him. One time without him. Can you go a little bit forward? I'm sitting, I'm bucking, and I'm pulling myself away. That's what I'm doing in one move. So practice this one. And another one. This is a very strange way of escaping a mount. They won't expect it. They think it's, kind of funny. The danger here is that I'm going to put my arms around underneath his armpits, and I'm going to stretch them. What is the danger? Of course, he can armbar me. But as long as I know he escapes, just keep his arm or his leg away from my face. Nothing's going to happen. Plus, I'm going to keep everything tight in. He maybe even cannot go for an armbar. But watch what I mean. I'm going to put my hands here, and I'm going to push myself all the way down. And once I'm here, I'm going to butt myself upwards, put myself underneath his armpits, and I'm going to force myself out. Now, if you're lucky, and you caught on the way back one of his legs, you might even finish him with this move, like we did before. Different angle so that you guys can see a little bit better what I do with my feet. All right? Stretch. Go here. Now bend over. Underneath his armpits. Pull yourself out. And once you get lucky, maybe you can even do a single Boston crab. I said this also on the other DVDs, like with arm locks and leg locks and everything. With explosive bucking up, you pretty much can escape any situation or any submission attempt. But you have to practice it. And as you can see here now, what we did with the mount, you really need to buck up high. Now, first of all, let me explain one thing. If I just lay flat, and my legs are here, down this high, I can come. That's leverage, right? No, that's not leverage. The closer I put my feet to my butt, the higher I can come up. It's very important. So if you want to explode as high as you can, you have to make sure that your feet are not there. They are going to be here, all the way close to your butt. Now you can get real high. We train it like this. I have my partner laying on me, going side mount. And he's going to lay flat on me. And I'm going to keep my hands here, because we did this a lot. If I'm not going to keep my hands here, he's going to fly off, trust me. Because we did this exercise so many times that my hips are pretty explosive now. Put your hands here, your feet here, close to your butt, and hold them. And now you're going to start. Do that for 2 minutes, okay? And then change, and then he's going to do it for 2 minutes. I promise you, if you do that, you're going to escape pretty much any situation. This bucking we do a lot. And sometimes with Amir, right before his fight, like 2 weeks before, I put him, I'm going to sit on him in a mount position, and I say, okay, get me off. And he's going to do everything in his power to get me off. And after 2-3 days, for real, I cannot hold it anymore, because he's going to get me off. He's getting so explosive, he's going to get me off. Now, the reason a lot of people, a lot of fighters don't do this in the ring is because it takes a lot of energy out of you. And that's the reason. But if you train it non-stop, like the fight, what I really like with Frank Shamrock and Tito Ortiz, you know, Frank was moving and bucking and exploding all the time, all the time, all the time. And eventually, in the 5th round, Tito got tired. But Frank was still fresh because he was training this all the time, and what happened? He beat him. So please, train this. This should be a routine that you do every day. Every day you finish training, 2 minutes, bang, bang, bang. The other guy, 2 minutes, bang, 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 and change. And do it for 10 minutes each. So 20 minutes in a row, I promise you, you're going to buck up everybody. Before we go to start the escapes from the side mount, I want to show you what my side mount is. And as you can see, my side mount is totally different than somebody else's side mount. Normally they're laying here, or flat, or with knees even down. They get this, they can pull all up. They're one with their opponent. And I told this before also on other DVDs, it's very stupid to be one with your opponent because you can get turned, okay? This way, watch what I'm doing with this hand. I'm pressing it here, and now I'm leaning it back. He feels pressure on his body. My belly is popping out, and it's leaning here. I'm really getting strong here. Everything is tight. If he starts moving now, I can see everything that he does. And even if he moves me, try to start to move, I just move with him. I just move with him and keep on him. This way, I can see everything. I see his legs, I see his arms, his head. I can see all the openings that I can do. Hey, neck crank right there. Bam, I pull, that's a neck crank right there. Maybe I'm going to go for a leg. Maybe his foot is standing like this. You see? Oh, I'm sitting. Bam, I got this leg lock. Maybe when I go to sit up, I may go for a knee bar. This way, I can see everything coming, especially an escape. Because if he managed to get his arm under here, he can escape by getting out of the back door. Now, that's why I'm sitting like this. I see an escape like this coming. I right away, I redirect everything, and I keep my position. Okay, try it out. It takes a little bit of training, a workout, but once you get this, you're so cool and so in a good position, and you can see everything. It's going to work like a charm. First, side mount position, escape. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my elbow here. Now, if he's very close to me, and I cannot make sure that I cannot put my elbow here, like it's very close, I'm going to move myself away. Watch what I did. I bring my arm down on his knee. I push this a little bit over. Hey, and here's the opening. I put my elbow in on his hip. Now, if you turn around, watch this. I'm going to trap this arm. I'm just going to hold it like this. If I grab his arm like this, he knows something's going to go on, and he's going to pull it out. So you don't want to do this, okay? Now, I'm simply going to trap his arm so he can't put it out, and I'm going to buck with this elbow and with my foot close to my butt, and here's the bucking again, and we're going to throw him over to this side, slowly this time. It's a very easy escape. You will be amazed how many people you can turn like this. Okay, so the whole thing is going to happen in the blink of an eye. Put your foot ready, got this up, turn them over, and control. That's the first thing you're going to do. And another one. Okay, I put him in a difficult position. His knee is here, and I want his knee here, like next to my hip. How am I going to do this? Am I really going to force his knee there? No, that's not going to work. Again, use your mind. Simply push yourself upward. Hey, and now his knee is here. That's the only thing you have to do. Okay? Never grab somebody. If I'm going to grab him now, he knows something's going to. So you don't want to do that. You just lay your arm here. The arm lays in like nothing's happening. What it does do is it provides him from later on, when I'm going to roll to that side, he cannot pose his leg out. But he doesn't know right now. He doesn't know because everything is going to go really fast. Now, we got to stop this arm. But unfortunately, we have no two arms on one side. So I cannot hold this arm and I cannot do this knee at the same time. I can't. But I can do an overhand grip like this. And look again, it's an overhand grip and I'm pulling hard now. It's pretty difficult for him to get out. But if he really wants, he will get out. So you have to move fast. As in every move, you do this. This is the setup. Now you're already thinking. You're putting your feet close to your butt because we're going to buck, explode up as hard as we can. This arm lays here. The only thing I have to think about now is to grab this hand and then explode as hard as I can, and he's going to land up over there. Okay? So I'm laying down, grabbing him, and explode, and go to the side. Right away, spread out. Very important, because otherwise, again, he can use the motion against you, and he can turn you again. One more little thing I want to add to this whole escape is that once this arm lays here and I'm going to make the escape, I'm going to grab and I'm going to escape. Now I can push with this arm. It's like a sweep, like a scissor sweep. We have for when people are in the guard, escape that. We do now with this arm. We force it over the floor from this side to that side. So we're sweeping this leg too. Everything in one time. And we land up in this position. Spread out. Okay? Always. Another one. When he sits like this high and there's a lot of space here, this is a pretty easy escape. Now, if I'm going to bring this arm over here, I'm going to do this. He feels that my arm is here. He will reposition himself right away to maybe north-south position or whatever position he wants to. But he's going to adapt. So the trick is to not let him feel that this arm is going to be underneath his body. Okay? We can do that by simply rolling on our straps like this, and now it's here. He doesn't know anything right now, but we have to act fast because he might see it. Now again, I'm going to grab with my heels, and this hand is going to be here. Now let's show it from the side. So I buck to the side, the hand was here, I land to the side, and it's here. Stretch the legs, we're grabbing the mat again, and from here explode out to this position, and right away, into anything you want. You can put your paddle on his head, you can go to the side mount, you can go to a cross face, anything you want. Stretch your legs, grab yourself out, together with your hand, you're going to be out. Same position, but a little different. Now he's flat, so I can't get my arm under without him feeling it. So I got to be fast now, really fast, okay? The way to do it is to buck up, explode up as high as you can, and use that moment put your arm underneath, then stretch your legs, and then get out. It's all in one motion. Watch, it's going to be like this. First we're going to go from this side. It's going to be a slow-mo. It's very strange what I'm doing right now, but if you do it fast, you will get out. You're going to buck him up, put this under here. Now before his body is going to drop, you have to already stretch your feet, and then you're going to escape the back door. Now you're going to think that's not possible because he's going to go up and down. Well, in that up and down, in that 1 second, you have to butt, stretch your legs, and get out. It is possible. Watch, because I'm going to do it. Okay, first of all, make sure he doesn't feel his arm going under by exploiting bacula. We go 1, 2, and 1. Do one move. Want to see it again? Just for the fun of it. He lays flat. He's on your chest. Oh, that's a good thing he's on my chest. I don't want to have him on my chest. I want to have him on belly. Because here, I have more leverage. Okay, so push him to your belly. Once he's here, you're going to explode, stretch, grab, arm underneath, everything at the same time, and you're going to escape. Watch. Explode, and get out. Now, if you master all these escapes that I just said, and you put them in your mind, and you combine them together, one of them is going to work. Like for instance, if the first one of this one, we're sitting, you remember, this one doesn't work, I can buck up, but for some reason, he still finds balance. I right away stretch my legs, grab, arm underneath, and get out. So this doesn't work, then I'm going to escape this way. I just put 1 and 2 together. All right? So combine everything, eventually you will escape. We have to show you this escape too, because from side mount, he can go into a scarf hold. Well, that can happen. It's got me in the scarf hold. There are a few ways to escape this move. Most simple way is crawl up to him, all the way tight, grab your hands together here, very tight against his body, and now explode and breach up, buck up a little bit to that side, and go here. That is the escape. For him, he should always keep his position. But we go over that a little bit later. One more thing. Now he's going to be smart. Now he says, wait a minute, if you buck me out, I'm going to put my hand out. And then I'm going to escape the back door. So I'm doing exactly the same thing, grabbing my hands together, go here, and now I escape the back door. Okay, so for him, in order for him to keep my total control over my body, he needs to do this. I'll show him. He needs to grab inside here, hold his triceps, and lay like this. If he tries to turn me now, I can't post out, but he can't escape the back door because I'm holding his arm. Okay, so remember this, very important. This is a very strange way to escape the side mount, but trust me when I tell you that I escaped many times the side mount like this. The person is laying like this, he's resting, he's maybe looking for a foot or something, and I'm just laying here. I'm going to push him to my belly, and from here I'm simply going to sit up, and now I'm going to go around his neck, and I escape. Simply push him to your belly, and then sit up, grab around his neck, and pull yourself on top of him.
是走，是走，继续，马上来。Escape! Escape!
Just a reminder, one more time, please do not forget. The leverage will be when he is on your belly and not on your chest. The higher he lays on your chest, the less amount of leverage you have. You see, here I cannot go up this high, but here, if I push him to this side, suddenly I can go up all the way like this. This, with explosive power, will maybe outside I can already escape. The same is exactly the same counts for the side mount. Side mount, he lays on top of you here. You want to have leverage. You can walk off like this. No, you got to have him here. Once he lays here, now I have leverage. Put your feet close to your butt and explode. Just like that. We did a lot of escapes with this arm underneath his body. But if he forgets, if I for some reason can manage to get underneath this arm, I can escape too. Exactly the same way, only I turn out the other way now. I twist myself the other way. And again, it's a forward snake move. You remember? Grabbing the heels, the mat with your heels, and now simply push him off to the side and go here. It's so simple, but a lot of people forget that this escape is always there. You know, just try it out, and you will see it's going to work. Another side mount escape. I'm going to snake move my way out. At least that's what I'm going to try. But he's smart. He won't let my knee get in. Watch. First of all, I'm going to lift up to the side, and his knee here is covered. I can't put my knee in. Now, don't worry. Just grab his leg, and now you're going to switch on your belly. So like this, climb up with your head to the side of his body, pull with his arms to that side, and with your head, you're going to go to that side. And your legs on his back. So this is what I did. With my head, I was moving to that side, and his legs, I'm pulling to that side. 1, 2, and right away, go for position. All right, now I do it to him. I'm going to be a side mount, and he's going to snake move out. As soon as I feel that he's pushing here, I'm going to reposition myself because I don't want him. I don't want to be away from him. I want to keep it in the side mount, okay? Watch this. He's laying here. He's going for the position. Right away, stick your hand in here. Your right hand, and just move to the side. I go for the other side mount. First escape from him in my half guard. Now, I have to block him, roll him to that side. Let's say that he's not a very smart submission artist. I mean, come on. I got the leg trapped there. I got this trapped. The only thing I have to do is turn to this side. One problem I have. How can I push him to this side if this leg is here? Oh, simple. We have to change legs. Now, do not change legs like this. Never do that. Always keep control over his leg. Because if I do this, he might jump out. He might use that situation, boom, and now he's in a better situation, all right? So once you're here, stick this leg in, follow it, then take that one out, lock this one up, and now simply turn. Just turn to the side and spread out. If you don't spread out, again, he will use that motion against you, and he will roll. I show you one time what I mean with that. So I got this perfect, I think, whoa, I got it. Whoa, I lost it. You see? It doesn't work. Really make sure that you spread out your hands.
Ja, relax hè. Lekker weer. Goed zo. Goed zo. Take your time.
Okay, half guard again, but this time he's smarter. He's got one arm around my neck, and if I want to turn to that side, he's going to post his leg out. Okay, so we have to stop this. And we have to make sure that he cannot bring this arm out. And again, I don't have 2 arms on one side. I cannot do it both. There's no way, not even like this. There's no way. So I'm going to stop. I have to block his arm with my hand like this, like we did before in the side mount position. Like this, it's an overhand grip like this. This is the strongest, and you pull tight, because otherwise it's going to pull it out. Now we're going to go back to this position. So we already changed feet from this position, foot over, to this position, because now I can walk to that side. I'm going to lay my arm here, just for now. At the moment I'm going to roll, I'm going to push it, but not now, because then he knows what's going to happen. Overhand grip, and now explode to the side. And establish right away control. Another position. This time he has his hands here, so if I want to roll him to this side, it's not going to work. If I'm going to roll him to that side, he's going to post out. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to try to distract him a little bit. I'm going to buck up again, and this hand is going to go underneath this armpit. Watch how effective this is. Buck up, put it here. From here, I'm going to slam it up, and I'm going to escape the back door. I'm going to climb out on top. First one, he has a tight half guard on you. Very hard to break. You can't push it up, but there's always a way, okay? Now, if this is an NHB event, you do not want to give him reach. And what I mean is this. I'm going to lower myself. Now he can create speed, so his punches, they are going to be very effective. So you want to go fast in this situation, okay? Okay, once you're here, you're going to grab around underneath his legs and keep it tight. My hands roll to the side are locked like this, very tight, okay? Now it's going to be very, keep it, try to hold me, I'm pushing myself up, push myself down and getting out. We can go for the mount position or hold his leg and go right away to the side position. Another one, he's got a strong one on me, All right, here we go. I want to push this knee to this side. If I do that, why wouldn't I neck crank him right away to the other side? So his mind is going to be on his neck here. See, this one, he's going to feel this. Once it's open, simply get out, go to a mount, or you can even do this. Once you're here, up, slide the knee over here, slip it out, and go to this hold. The last one from this angle, so you can see better what I mean. Cross face, push, get the knee out, slide the knee to this side, and now simply slide out. Another one, neck crank, don't forget. That is the distraction, okay? Push here, crawl a little bit up, and put your foot here. Now you're going to push out, and you can put your knee here and slid up to this side. Or, what you can do, like we did before, we're in this position, with cross face in, put our foot here, split it out, and go to the mount position, and right away, start punching. First one, most simple one, effective if he's not a good grappler, because otherwise he will simply pull my elbows off and then it skips to the side, and it's not going to happen. You know, but we always have to try. Again, I say 1,000 times, if you don't shoot, you always miss. And listen, if he's tired and suddenly you neck crank him, maybe he wants to release the pressure by opening up his guard. Once the guard is open, you're going to pass it right away. You stick your knee in between, and you're going to slide through. Okay, first of all, if his hand is all the way back, I cannot neck crank him. So I simply have to get up a little bit like this. See, I bend his neck. Now I grab the top, and I fall back. If I do this, or he's going to tap, or he's going to open his guard. And if he opens his guard, then right away we're going to escape it. Put a knee over here, see, slide to the side, and go for a side control. This one is one that they typically use in Jiu-Jitsu, in Judo, in Sambo, because they have a gi. They can grab a hold of the gi and then push the head down. Then they're going to put the knee behind the butt of his opponent, and they're going to keep pushing down, and they're going to push himself away from him, and they open this way the guard. I say this because in NHB, you don't have anything to hold on. So for him, the defense would be simply to pull my hands up like this, and then I can't do it. Okay, so you have to push his hips down, because if you don't push his hips down, and you're going to put your knee behind his butt, right, I'm going to go backwards, but he's going to simply slide over, and I'm going to miss it. It's not going to work. The effect would be this. Push you down, put your knee here, and stretch yourself away. Once you're here, I will put a knee in between, and right away try to pass it. How you want to pass it, it's up to you. Again, you can slide it in, go to the side, but you also can simply step backwards. Because I'm a striker, I like to strike here, and I just stand up. There is another way. Simply your elbow here on the side and push. He will open it up. But my experience is this. In Pancras, every time when I came home after a fight, and I was in somebody's guard, you know, or somebody was in my guard, I had these black marks here. I always thought, what are those black marks? So I started looking on the videotape of the fight, and I realized that they tried to break my guard like this. Now, in training, this will work because it hurts. But in a fight, when your adrenaline is rushing through, your pain tolerance is way higher than normal, and then it doesn't work. But hey, try it, because you might get away with it. A very, 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 very simple way is this. Looking back and see where his foot is and peel it off, most of the time he knows what's going to happen. What you can do is call in your corner. This is what I did. This is what we do. I look at my corner and I say right or left. And in this case, my corner says right. Then I don't have to look. The only thing I have to do, I go right, okay, go backwards, peel it up, and go to the side. Very simple, very effective. Another real fun way is this way. Not many people do it, and you might say, hey, he can escape. Well, he can, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift him up. If he posts his hands now on the floor and he skips backwards, he's going to be out. Okay? So that will be the escape. But I'm telling you, he won't know that I'm going to do this because it's very unorthodox. It's a move that nobody does. And suddenly I'm going to lift him up and put him back. What is that? Nobody ever saw that before. So it might work. And why not try? First of all, you don't have to grab the top of his head. You have to go to his neck. And you have to move your body all the way on top of him, because then you have to slam your body weight back, lift him up. You are going around his neck, underneath both armpits, and you put him back on his back. At that moment, he's going to get neck cranked. He has to tap, or he has to open the guard and sweep his hips out. At the moment he opens his guard, that's your time to escape the guard. Okay? Now this is how it's going to look. I'm going to lay down, I'm going to grab his neck. I'm going to lift him up, one, over and under, like this. Now if I lean back, he's got to open his guard. See? Up, but I go to the side. Now I might even crucifix him, or I go to a simple side mount position. Same escape. Different view for you guys, so you can see what I do with this arm. I go around his neck, underneath his armpit. It has to be in one blink of an eye. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So you have to train it. Don't just try it. First train it, and then try it out in a fight or in a real good sparring match. Right? Here we go again. Lean forward, like this. Suddenly drop back, lift him up, and you're down here. He has to open his guard, you see? Because otherwise he's going to tap. I'm going to jump out, get to the side, and I'm going to get the side mount. Another one. We're going to bring our two hands inside. But hey, it's very difficult to get my two hands inside. But watch what I do. My knees, I'm going to put my knees together like this, and now I create some space here. We'll stick them in, put them back. And now peel them up as hard as you can. Go back, pull it to the side, and go off again for side control. Another escape from having somebody in your guard. It's a simple one, but very effective. If he's working on me, like he's close to me now, and suddenly when he gets up, the only thing I have to do now, and you can see it in my Funaki fight, Frank fight, many fights I did this, lean backwards, put your hips, put your feet there, just kick him away, and you get up as fast as you can. Here we go. Grab your wrist, go under here, and grab your own wrist. It's a wrist lock. We can find this also on the DVD wrist locks, chapters, and armbar. See, there's already a lock here. Now, what I'm going to do now is bring this backwards, and I'm going to lift his body on me, and then while I'm putting it on me, I roll to the side, like here, and then I push to the side, and I roll over, and I end up in a mount position. Really train this thing very hard, because it's all about the right balance, otherwise it's not going to work. The defense for this will be right away when I grab this, you would have to do that and pull it out. Just make sure that I cannot trap this arm. Easy defense. Put everything together, it might work. Another one, the scissor. Very important with this is that one foot is going to be, one leg is going to be totally on the ground, and the other one is going to be on his chest. I will show you this from a different angle too, so you will better understand, okay? First of all, let's do a simple one. Keep holding his both arms and tight on your body, okay? Open your guard, put it to the side, and now put your knee on his chest, and your right foot is here. Of course, he can pass now, but you have to go fast. The left foot is on the ground. I'll show you later from a different angle. Now, it's not a sweep what you're going to make. The only thing that you're going to do is you're going to stretch your right leg. Stretch it. Then it doesn't cost you any power. The mistake that all the people make is they try to do this. And that is not going to work. What you have to do is keep this foot on the ground and just stretch your right leg. I will show you from this side. I'm holding it, the guard is open, and again you have to move fast because if you open guard you might escape. Okay, so move fast with this. 1, 2, and stretch the leg, right away go into the mount position. The defense, like I said, the moment I open my guard, he can jump out, or he can do other things. He can do what you do. Okay, I open my guard, go in here, he drops his body. Now the body weight is dropped, I better make sure that I'm going to get him back in the guard because otherwise he's going to do this. He's going to grab my foot, go to the back, push it, and he's going to pass it. And now he's in the side mount. Another scissor. And again, put the knee on the chest and the other foot all the way down. Now I'm going to hold also his head. Watch this. I'm sitting in my guard, I'm jump, and I'm holding him like this. Tight. I'm going to stretch my right foot, and I'm going to right away in the mount. I'm actually in the mount. Next one, I'm going to go for a chicken wing, a reverse figure 4, as I always say. Now, it might not work, but you can really use this against him to make a scissor move. It's the same principle. Watch what I'm doing. I'm going to go over, and I'm holding my chest now with this hand on my chest. That's the only thing I'm going to do. I put this foot on the floor, and this foot as close to my butt as I can to get leverage, like we talked about now many times, and simply twist him to the side. It is that easy, as you can see in the clip that I'm going to show you right now. The defense for this move, watch, he will drop right away. Once he feels this, whoop, he's going to drop. See, I can't turn him anymore. If this happens, grab his arm right away, go. You might make a kimura. Another one, watch. I'm going to go under his armpits like this. Now I'm going to squeeze everything up. And once this is squeezed, I'm holding it very tight. Open it up, put it here, and explode to the right. And post your hands out. In the DVD neck cranks, you actually saw me doing this and neck crank him like this. Now, if this doesn't work and he's very flexible in his neck, you can do the same. Slide it up, open it up, and twist to the side and post. Okay, the next move is a combination from Bas Rutten and Glenn Axelrod. He's a sheriff here in Ventura County. Okay, I was doing this, what everybody knows, with Kevin Redelman. Sorry. Okay, I was slipping out like this, and I squeezed my opponent between my legs. And I was hitting him with elbows and strikes. And now Glenn told me, hey, Bas, what if you push this arm to the side, you grab underneath the armpit, and watch this. Open up here one time. Watch my knee. My knee is on his chest, and with my knee, I'm going to push him to this side. See how easy this is. And he's off. It's really that easy. It doesn't cost you any power. The only thing I do with my knee is moving to that side. Together with grabbing underneath his armpit, both forces will turn him over, and right away you will go for a good position. And of course, exactly the same move. We can mix everything up. All these scissors that we are doing right now, you can mix them up. You see, if I mix them up with this, and now I put my hip here in between, and my knee is here, I can do exactly the same thing and throw them off. You see, so you guys have to play around at home with all these things, because I do not have to show you. You combine them together, because if you combine them together, one of them is going to work. Another one, very nice reversal. Grab this hand, go underneath, stick your arm, and put it on the floor. Put his shoulder on the floor. You can hear he has a very painful shoulder, so that's why I do it very slowly right now. You can cross-face him, open your guard, and go right away to his back. And maybe you can even choke him. And if you don't choke him, you can always go for sideline mount, whatever you want to do. You can even stand up and get out. Next one. He sits up on one foot, and he's going to try to hammer my face. He's holding my back of my head. He's trying to hit me, so I have to move fast. What I can do, open the guard, and again, a simple scissor move. But if I do this, he's going to post out. Simply take it, fall out, climb on top, and you're in mount position. All right, we start in this position. Now, I said in my DVD, neck cranks and chokes, that if you have somebody in a side choke like this, stretch him out and roll him on his back, and now finish the side choke. But imagine you have somebody like Kevin Redelman on top of you, and he knows the defense now. He's answering the phone. You remember the defense for the choke. And I put on my weight. I cannot turn him. Don't stress. Just open your guard, and then you move around him, and you go to a better position. One, now you got his back. All right. Now this I didn't show you in how to escape the guard. And why? Because I think it's easy to reverse. That is, if the opponent is punching you, okay? Now, what he's doing right now, he's leaning on me, and my legs are closed. So that takes a lot of power away. I'm non-stop holding him in my guard. My legs are going to be shut within 5 minutes, and later on, when the referee is going to say, hey, get up, you will move way faster than you used to move. Now, if you start striking and he gets up, see, this is what we want to have. You want to stretch yourself out. Now you want to grab his legs, but you got to go fast because at the moment you grab his legs, he knows you're up to something. Drop your butt on the floor and push him back. And it goes all in one move. 1, 2, 3, climb on top of him. We have him in a half butterfly guard. You see this foot here right now? It's underneath here. That's where we have him. Needless to say, we can elevate his leg now with my foot. Again, put this one on the floor, keep him tight to you, and if you do that, and if he's here, maybe he goes with his arm around the neck, it doesn't matter. Just at the moment when you start sweeping him, make sure that this arm doesn't post out. If he posts out, just slam it back, okay? 1, 2, and go to the mount. Butterfly guard. Both of my feet are inside now, okay? He's on top of me. I'm holding him tight, and now I can do the trick that I did before. Slide this up here, and I'll simply lift him up and throw him on his back. And again, we're in the mount position. And again, another position. This time, the opponent managed to get his arm here and hold his hand. Now he wants to go and jump for a knee right. But if I'm going to be fast, and I'm going to grab his hand here, and from this position, I move a little bit, watch. I'm going to lock up this foot here. The only thing I have to do is to turn it to the side and pull my arm out this way. Otherwise, maybe he's going to side jump me. But let's say that he's very fast. He's going to grab my arm around, and right away he's going to jump with his knee on my stomach. He's got this, boom, up, knee right. And you can see he's pressing real hard, and you can tell by the way I speak right now. He's really putting pressure on my hip because he doesn't want my hip to go that way. So I'm going to have to bump this up a little bit here and explode to that side as fast as I can. 1, and I'm going to go explode to the side. That's the only way to get out. If you explode enough, you're going to be out in the blink of an eye. Same position, a little bit different. Now he doesn't have his knee here on my hips. He stepped over. He thinks, hey, I can't get out like this. Okay, so we have to escape the back door, so to say. Do not stay here because you're going to get jammed. You're going to get rocked, okay? Bring this hand inside here, his knee here, and now you're going to stretch your legs, and with your heels you kind of grab the floor. You grab it, and with that together with pushing his leg, you're going to escape to the side, and you're going to get out. A nice way to reverse somebody who is in a turtle position. Now, watch. I'm going to go with this arm underneath the armpit. Hey, here it is, right here. The other hand is going to be on top of his head, not his neck, because you want to create leverage. You really want to crank his neck, because now you're not only pushing his head down, but you're cranking his neck in the process, okay? Then I'm going to grab my own wrist like this here, and now I'm going to throw my body upwards like this, and while I'm doing that, I'm pushing his head down, and he will turn over. 1, 2, right away, go to the side mount. On my Boss Rooted Mixed Martial Arts workout, you will see an exercise, and it's called right, right, left, left, right. It doesn't make sense at all for you right now, but if you buy it, which I strongly advise, then you realize what this exercise is for, and this is it. Somebody got you around the waist. When I say right, I'm going to shoot my right leg out here, and I'm going to grab it with my right hand here, his right arm. His left arm actually, but with right, I'm going to grab this arm. Shoot my right leg out, and I'm going to push my head backwards. You see I'm coming up to the side of his body, and I'm going to push him backwards. Watch. I'm sitting here, grabbing it. 1, 2, 3, and go to the side mount. Escaping the north-south position. You do not want to be here, because right now he can knee. And as everybody knows, when you saw the fight between Kevin Randleman and Murillo Ninja, well, this was the reason that they stopped the fight, okay? Now, we did this move kind of when he was in mount position on top of me. This is pretty much the same, but now instead of putting my hands underneath his armpits, I'm going to put it on his hips, and I'm going to stretch myself, I'm going to push myself away from him as far as I can. Now, once I'm here, he already cannot knee me anymore, see? It's more difficult for him to reach me. Now, I'm going to roll over here, and I'm going to try to put both hooks in. It doesn't matter if you only get one hook in. One hook is enough. Both hooks would be ideal, but if you get one hook in, you're going to escape too, trust me. All right, push it away, roll over, get the hook in. You see, no, I got only one, but that's enough, and get out as fast as you can. Escaping the half butterfly guard. Now, first of all, you have to push the knee down all the way. Then you're going to grab his foot. You see, my hand's coming out. He's grabbing his foot. It's very obvious what I'm going to do now. Huh? I'm going to just simple up and go move and go to the side mount. Escaping the butterfly guard. Now, personally, if somebody plays this game with me, I will stand up and I say, well, get up, because I like to strike. But we're grappling right now, and I want to escape. It's the same thing that we're going to do. We're going to push the foot down, the knee down. We're going to grab the foot here. See, we got the foot right here, and now we're going to step over. We're going to do that with our left leg. The left knee is going to go over here. 1, 2, 3, and you're in the side mount. What you can also do, instead of grabbing the ankle first, you can simply hold his legs here, and now while you push his knees, you can jump over. And now you're in the mount position. It's an easy trick, but I saw people doing it in the fight, so it really works. This shirt, well, that was a present from my wife. She says that's a typical expression that you always would say. I always tell the truth, even when I lie. So, what can I say? Tony Montana. My childhood, it was a normal childhood. How do you say it? I mean, my parents were very lovable. I had no abusive father. You hear all these stories from these fighters, you know, the dad used to beat them up or something happened. That was not with me. The thing that happened with me was that I had a very bad skin disease, and that came together with asthma, and both of them I had very bad. So when I would have had an asthma attack, that would result in a week in bed, 5 days, a week, sometimes 9 or 10 days in bed. And when I wouldn't have asthma, I would have had a skin disease, a real bad one. It would be so bad sometimes that I could not close my hands, so I had to wear gloves because, yeah, obviously it didn't look pretty. I had it on my arms, I had hair on my face, everywhere. So I guess I was the kid that I always picked on. And maybe that made me into the person that I am now. Before I started doing martial arts, I did track and field. I was pretty good high jumping, far jump, the 100 meters, javelin, the discus, shot putting. I wanted to become the second Bruce Jenner. I wanted to be like a track and field, do all the 10 things, however they call it here in the States. But yeah, that was my goal. But unfortunately, my knee wasn't built for the amount of pressure. So like if I would high jump, I would have to save all my jumps till the end. So I would start real high, and I only had a few jumps that I could do with my legs because my knees would blow out, and then I needed a rest for like 2 weeks or something. I think that the person who inspired me to start fighting inspired a lot of people, and that was Bruce Lee. I believe, I believe it was 1976. I sneaked into the movie theaters in France together with my brother, and we saw Enter the Dragon right there, and that was it. I wanted to be Bruce Lee. The people I looked up to, wow, Bruce Lee, and fiction, of course. I always looked up to Spider-Man and Wolverine. I always wanted to be one of them, at least. My favorite thing to do when I was a kid,
Climbing trees. I had this big field in front of my house with a whole row of trees going to a big forest, and I could jump in the first tree, climb the tree, get in the top, and then I would swing from one side to the other side, one tree to the other tree, and it would go all the way into the woods. And once in the woods, I could pretty much go through the whole wood without touching the ground. So that became handy also when kids bullied me or they wanted to do something. I just climbed a tree and then I was gone. Tarzan, the Dutch Tarzan. That's what I was. I started to compete at a late age. You have to understand, I was 14 years old when I sneaked into the movie theater. Now I think 12 for the Bruce Lee movie. And then I begged my parents, please let me do martial arts. They wouldn't allow me until I was 14. So it took 2 years of begging. And I trained for 3 weeks, something like that. And I had a street fight. The person I normally would walk away from, well, this time I felt I was filled with confidence, and they shouted at me, "Hey, fuck you, boss," whatever. And this time I said something back. So they started laughing, turned around, he came to me, started pushing me, bang, right straight to the nose. He broke his nose. My parents found out, of course, and that was it. So then I started training again when I was about 20 years old. When I moved out of the house, I started training. Right away I did taekwondo, karate. From karate I went over to Thai boxing. Every time I felt there was something more. It's not only taekwondo, not only kicking. I needed punches too. Full contact karate, Kyokushin karate. Okay, I did that. But no punches allowed to the head. Everything else was allowed, but not punches to the head. So I stopped doing that too. No, I didn't stop actually. I kept doing it, but in the meanwhile I also started to compete, or to train in Thai boxing. But competing pretty much right away. I think when I joined my Thai boxing club, I think 4 weeks later I fought my first fight, which I won with a spinning back kick to the liver, that is. At that time, my profession, I was in school, I was a cook. I was studying to be a cook, a French cook. I was working in a restaurant also. Actually 2 restaurants I worked at one time because I wanted to make money. I wasn't that kid that got everything from the parents. No, I started out doing delivering newspapers in the morning, also on Wednesday the special edition, and then I started working in restaurants, and I just liked to cook, so I went to the school for cooking, and now I am actually a certified cook, so I can open a restaurant or a hotel. I got all my papers for that. Pancras, it happened kind of by surprise. What happened was this. I competed in Thai boxing, and then I lost a fight in Holland, and people said, "You see, I always told you he cannot fight." And I thought it was strange because I won 14 fights all by knockout, 13 in the first round and 1 in the second round. And then when I lost, I was suddenly a bad fighter, so I decided not to fight for those dumb people anymore. But there was always this urge that I had. I wanted to compete. I wanted to do something with martial arts. So I started doing shows together with a friend of mine. And it started out going to clubs and do it on music. And then we started doing it on events, like on a Thai boxing event. And then suddenly they asked us if we wanted to do it for TV. We started doing it for Dutch TV. And once that happened, the European TV came. And then we started traveling around Europe. And we did these crazy shows, and we started mixing in comedy, and it became pretty big for us. It became pretty big. So on one of these shows, Chris Dolman is a famous free fighter from Holland, one of the pioneers in Holland, who went to Japan and started free fighting there. He called me and to him on the event, and he said, "Man, your athletic abilities are really good. Maybe you should train in free fighting. That's what they called it at that time in Japan. So I went over to him. It was all the way in Amsterdam, and that's far away from me. Far, that means an hour and 45 minutes. I started training, but I was also bouncing around the side. So, I injury here from a street fight. You know how it goes. I didn't train a whole lot, once a week maybe. Then it became twice a month. Anyway, suddenly out of the blue, he called me. And I picked up the phone and he says, "Boss, whatever happens tonight, you are going to come to my gym because there's a new organization called Pancras, and they're looking for fighters. They're scouting." So, okay, I went over, and I had a sparring session with a couple of guys. And one of these guys was already a name in Japan, and there were cameras around. So, of course, he tried to show off. And with doing so, he tried to hurt me. And yeah, that's just not a nice thing that you can do. So I knocked him out with a high kick. He went off to the hospital. Big scar here, big cut in his eye. And that was it. They told me, "Okay, we want you. We want you in Japan." And I believe that was already 5 weeks later I fought my first fight. September 21st, 1993. The rules in Pancras, that was kind of strange. I said this before, but this is from my DVD, so let's go over it again. It's funny, because you have to understand, I came from Thai boxing. There's 5 rounds of 3 minutes. And the weight class difference, that's already each 6 pounds or 7 pounds, it's a different weight class. So when I came to Japan, I fought this guy who was 45 pounds heavier than I was. So that was already the first downfall. And then I realized there were no rounds. I said, "How many rounds are there?" They said, "1 round." So I said, "That's great, 1 round. How many minutes?" And they said, 30 minutes. I said, "Great, I'm in a good shape." But in my mind I was thinking, oh my God, 30 minutes fighting? That's not going to happen. And then of course the palm strikes came. I had to wear shin guards. I didn't want to do that because of course I'm a striker. I like to hit with a closed fist and without shin protection because obviously the impact will be much greater. But for some reason the palm strikes fitted me. I was hitting, actually not really with the palm, I was hitting with the bone. So if I gave a left hook or a right hook, I just hit with the bony part of my wrist. And it worked. My first fight, I knocked the guy out in 43 seconds, straight to the hospital, bam, down he went. Other things I want to say about the rules of Pancras is that I like the rules. I liked the rope escapes. I think the rope escapes made me a better fighter. It made everybody a good fighter in Pancras. Because now, when you had the chance to submit somebody, you had to drag him to the center of the ring. But once in the center of the ring, if you submit the guy and he escapes the submission and suddenly he gets a better position over you, you're in the center of the ring and you cannot touch the ropes. So I believe that the rope escapes made everybody a better fighter in Pancras. And if you look at the list of fighters that did good in UFC and all around the world, it's a big list. Frank Shamrock, Ken Shamrock, Maurice Smith, Takahashi, Guy Metzger, Sam Shield. I mean, the list goes on. All these guys pretty much became UFC champion or did real good or doing still real good in Pride. Maurice Smith also. I mean, yeah, there was. I think the rules were good. It was good for us. My first fight in Japan. Well, I just told you about it. The 45 pounds weight difference. The good part was that he was taller than I was. So when I palm striked him, I could go underneath his jaw. Boom! I hit him right there. So it went over real quick. He went down. He got up. I had to bring his hands down, obviously, because I just knocked him out on his head. This is all stuff that we are going to, I'm going to teach you here in this DVD set also. Gave him a kick to the body, hands came down a little bit, another right straight, and while he went down, I kneed him in the head. And that was it, 43 seconds. And that was also the time that the Ruten jump got born. I started jumping up because I had so much adrenaline in me. I jumped up and did the splits to all 4 sides of the ring. And I shouldn't have done that because after that I had to keep doing it. I realized that I could be good in pancras. You know, I realized that I could be good in pancras after I lost against Ken Shamrock. The last time I fought Ken Shamrock, I lost against him again. And that kind of made me think about everything. And I said, you know what, you're a good striker, great striker, but obviously the ground game is not your game. So I started to train real hard on the ground, 2 times a day. Only ground fighting. 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, we just spar, just ground fighting. And then suddenly I start submitting people in pancras. And then I thought, hey, wait a minute. I can be a champion in this. I really think I have a great chance. And I never lost anymore. And finally my shot came, my title shot against Suzuki. And then I beat Suzuki for the title. And that was it. And I thought, wow. And that happened again. Then I fought, I believe it was Funaki first. It was kind of a rematch because he beat me a long time ago in '93. It was my third fight. So that was kind of a payback for me. I really needed to win this fight. So I knocked him out. And then I did it one more time with Frank. I also defended my title against Frank. And after that, I resigned because my kid was born. My wife had some complications. My kid was born premature. She was only 2 pounds. So I stayed with the family. I didn't want to defend my title because I wanted to stay with the family. So I said, okay, that's it. I'm resigning the title. You guys find a new champion. When I came to the States a long time ago, that was, I believe, in 95 or 96 maybe, something like that. A friend of mine, Federico LaPenda, he gave me the grand tour of Los Angeles, Santa Monica Beach. Listen, I was sitting on the beach in November, I believe it was, drinking a tequila shot with a Heineken at 7 o'clock at night. Life couldn't be any better. In Holland it was freezing, and here I was sitting in the sun on the beach. So it was pretty easy for me. I called my wife from the beach and I said, okay, get ready, because we are going to the States. And I came to the States and tried to use my pancras career as my background to break into the movies, because, you know, I was always entertaining people anyway. You know, the shows that I did in Holland and in Europe for TV, I like to entertain people. So I figured maybe that's going to help me to get into the movies, but it didn't help me at all, because only a short amount of people saw actually the pay-per-view shows from pancras here in America. And that's why I decided to go to the UFC, because everybody knew the UFC. I figured, you know, wait a minute, you beat Guy, you beat Maurice Smith, you beat Frank, you know, you beat Takahashi, and all these guys became UFC champions. So I figured, you know what, let's go